Hello, I'm Anya, and today I would like to share a little bit about using your own energy to ground your energy. In another video, I shared some tips and tricks in how you can ground your energy. And it was more about crystals. Now, how do you ground your energy without any help, any tools? And in Reiki level 1, we're learning various meditations, and one of them is the focus breath, cultivating and connecting you with the earth key. And that is the energy of the lower chakras of your belly, if you like. So the whole idea is when you are breathing in and out, you're focusing on the breath and you follow the feeling of the breath. And you focus on, say, taking I do not say take a deep breath in, because then you're taking control of the breath. The idea is that you are aware of how your body breathes naturally. Because it is one thing we actually do without thinking. The body just breathes. And the whole idea with the focus breath is that we're bringing the awareness in how it feels when the body is breathing, bringing the awareness to the rise and fall of the chest. And when you breathe, you can feel how far the energy of the breath goes in. It maybe gets stuck up here. And you bring the awareness to this point. And then you notice the awareness is dropping. The awareness of the breath, how deep your body breathes, increases. So you follow the breath. It takes time and practice. And you can feel it. It's literally moving further and further down. And that is actually not the breath. It is the awareness. It is the energy of the breath. And then at one point you can feel it in your belly. You can feel it just in the hara, anything below the belly button, really. And that is where the earth key is. And that is where you're grounding your energy in. So yes, we can go and use the roots. We can go and visualize roots going out the soles of our feet and all that. And it's perfect. It's wonderful. It works. But just bringing the awareness back into the body, it's grounding the energy. Because what actually happens in our daily life, and especially when we have super full moons and all that going on in the universe, our energy goes all over the place. It's everywhere. We're multitasking all the time. And that leaves us depleted, drained, frazzled and razzled and dazzled, and ungrounded, because we're thinking and doing instead of being. And it's difficult, I mean, your ego mind is sitting there on your shoulder and shouting, you don't have time for this, you can't do this, you must be doing A, B, C, and D, you have to do this all the time. Because when you are in the stillness, in solitude, that's scary. It's absolutely petrifying. Oh my God, I'm on my own. How am I going to function on my own? So the ego is going to invent all sorts of issues to stop you from going into the stillness. Believe me, you can have a battle on your hands. And then you have to go and ask yourself, are you happy with this life? Is there not another way in living my life? Still fulfilling my obligations? Because let's face it, if you are a parent, you do have obligation to your children, especially when they're young. There is no buts about it. That is a choice you have made, becoming a parent. The same as when you have pets. So, and you have bills to pay, so we do have obligations. So you have to go and prioritize that what you have to do to pay your bills, being the parent, the spouse, what have you not. And then making the choice that instead of watching telly all day, absorbing like a sponge all the wonderful news you're surrounded with, going out with friends every night clubbing, or are you going to decide, actually, I'm watching less television, switching off the news, what I need to know, I will know anyway, and use that time to ground my energy, to have me time, to do something which my soul wants me to do. Now you can ask, what is my soul actually wanting? Go in the stillness, you will find out. When you look back, depending how old you are as well, but very often you can see your pattern when you look back. I found myself, when I'm looking back, how often I was actually teaching. Not as a teacher in a professional sense, but actually sharing knowledge, teaching, showing. I have done it throughout my life. So it is part of who I am, the teaching, the sharing of knowledge. So that is, but how do I do this now in a spiritual practice? Well, in my case, I do it with Reiki and other modalities and coaching and that type of thing. But it could be that for you, it was working with animals or doing the arts or doing some writing or raising children. So, maybe becoming a kindergarten teacher, something like that. So it is very personal, and you need to figure out really what it is that really resonates with you in who you are. And not actually that is coming from the ego mind. It's actually coming from deep within. So again, we need to go within, we need to go and ground the energy, getting into the stillness. And focus breath is actually one of the easiest meditations I find, because there is nothing you need to remember. I mean, I have learned meditations, you're going to do this with your arms and doing this and follow the breath here, and that is great and wonderful. But it can be confusing. And, to be honest, when you're sitting in public transport, maybe you want to be a little bit discreet. So focus breath is very easy to do. And literally, it is basically, I need to ground myself, is just watching, just observing how the body breathes. And by bringing the awareness to the breath, without you needing to do anything, you can feel that the breath is changing, the rhythm is changing. And you can literally feel the body relaxing. And sometimes you need to take a deeper breath. And on the out breath, you can feel literally tension leaving the body. And you can place your hands on your chest if you want, or on your belly, or on your legs. Because again, when we're using our hands on the body, it helps us to anchor ourselves into the body. Now, people who had a traumatic childhood, upbringing was rather rough, and other traumatic events, what does happen is you are leaving the body to survive. So now when you're going onto the healing journey and starting meditation practices on a daily basis, ideally, all that could come up. And you're going more and more into the body, more and more into the present moment, in the here and now. And that is actually something we have forgotten to be in the moment, in the here and now. And that is something our children are teaching us and our pets are teaching us, to be here, present at this moment in time. Never mind about tomorrow or what happened yesterday. From yesterday, take the lessons, the wisdom, but let go of the emotional attachment. It's done. Finito. And tomorrow, to be honest, am I going to wake up tonight, tomorrow morning? There are no guarantees. So it's no good worrying about it. Yes, plan for the future by all means, but do not be attached to it and do not use fear, the fear of the future. Yeah? And this is what all the news are doing as well. They're stirring the pot of fear and anger and frustration, and then keeping us trapped in the third dimension, the illusion of separation. So really, we want to get out of there and staying more and more in higher frequencies, in the frequency of oneness, of love. For me personally, bless my ex-husband, bless him, but it's only really now, and also with the right understanding, that I only had it twice, that you've been embraced by somebody, not romantically in any shape or form, just like a goodbye or a hello. And it was a total sense of oneness. By holding the embrace, it was just one. There was no I and he, just one. So that is an interesting experience. Yeah, it was really amazing and interesting to have this total blending of two becoming one. And it just shows, once we step out of the ego mind and we are on a certain frequency, that is who we are. Because everything is like a reflection back to us. And by letting go of the ego and the limitations the ego puts on and all the labels going with it, we can have this deep connection of oneness. And that, I think, is all part of our evolution and our mission on this planet in this lifetime, to actually get to this point where we have this sense of oneness with whoever we are encountering. That's a bit of a challenge, but hey, that's not, say it's not impossible. It's actually interesting to see if I can actually reach that level in this lifetime, or I have to go and come back for another one. But it's all part of self-mastery, of discipline, commitment, devotion to self. So where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? I know who I want to be. I know who I do not want to be. So if I want to be that person, my true self, then I will have to put the hours in, the work in, by doing my meditation practices, by doing my shadow work, by sharing with others of my experience, my wisdom, my truth, sharing my space. And by interacting with other people, you will also learn there is no teacher, there is no student. So whatever I'm sharing here with you, I'm actually sharing it with myself. So I'm talking to myself and making sense of what's going on up here and trying to put it all into a neat little row, because that is how we like things, or how I like it. Again, there's a need of control, and it has to be just so. See, it's interesting how this ego is hiding into little things and thoughts and how we are. So grounding our energy really for me is coming into the body, having the awareness of the breath. Taking the time. I mean, you can do it while you're out walking the dog. Focus on the dog, watch the dog. Leave the mobile phone at home. I sometimes actually do it deliberately. I thought, well, so I'm not available for half an hour. Big deal. I'm being born, 1967. I tell you one thing, there were no mobile phones and laptops and computers and smartphones. We had one phone with a cable. That is how it went. We all survived. We're still here. So let it go. Leave it behind. Switch it off. I mean, on one side, this is great. You are available 24 hours. But at the same time, this is a pain in the backside. I'm not available. I want a break. I'm walking my dog in nature. I don't need you ringing me. It can wait. Well, 95% of the time it can wait. And then you're in the middle of nowhere, in a forest, and then the phone goes, "Oh, Mom, can you pick me up? I've broken down with my bike." And well, it will take me 2 hours anyway getting there. So, anyway, if you really want to go within and grow and evolve and become the best version you can be, do your shadow work, ground your energy. And again, it is a practice thing. The more you practice focusing on your breath and getting into a centered space, the easier it becomes. When I first started to meditate and to reach this point of stillness and calmness, I probably took about 10 minutes getting there. And then it took 5 minutes, and then 3 minutes, and now it's on a second breath. So again, it's a practice thing. It's, you can go and walk your dog and do your meditation there. Just being aware of the body, of the breath, walking meditation, notice how the ground feels under your feet. Are you walking on tarmac? Are you walking on grass? Are you walking on gravel? All those things. When we're coming within, our awareness expands. We're actually seeing more. I went for a walk yesterday. Nearby is a bit of woodlands with some ponds and swamps and type of thing. Marshlands. And there were 2 different kinds of dragonflies. Now, if I had been busy on my phone and busy just chatting to my friend, I wouldn't have seen it. So we are missing a lot when we are so busy doing instead of being. And grounding our energy, coming back into the body, that's very beneficial for all of your bodies. You're automatically resetting your energy field. And as I said right at the beginning of this video, you do not have to use crystals. You do not have to be in nature. Being in nature is actually good for you anyway. We're spending too much time indoors. Too many of us living in towns and cities without access to nature, which is just mind-blowing. I could not live in a big city. It will not suit myself in any shape or form. I need my trees around me. The more the better. And that is, I believe, very much a human nature as well, this need to be out in the fresh air. So yeah, with all this babbling and waffling and talking, hopefully you enjoyed my little time, my time with, let me rephrase this. Thank you for listening. I hope this was of benefit to you. It was certainly interesting for me because, again, what I'm sharing with others actually helps my own thoughts to settle properly. And as I said, grounding is actually very easy. It's literally coming back into the body and yeah, going into the belly, and you can really feel the change of energy as well. You could practice it even now. See, I can already feel the shift. Yeah, so it's literally just taking a moment. You can even do it when you put the kettle on. Just by being aware. The awareness of how the body is breathing. How does it feel? Where can I feel the breath? Bring the awareness to that point. And on the next breath, you can literally feel it going deeper. And then when it's in the belly, you can literally feel it, how it expands. There's nothing for you to do. Just being aware of the breathing. You can see it in colors if you want to or not. It is totally up to you. And those who cannot visualize, just feel it. Just know it is there. It is doing it. And the more you do it, the more sensitive you become to the energy. And I will leave you with this. Thank you for listening. And if you like this video, please click like or leave a comment. And I do read the comments, I do answer. And I wish you a wonderful, great day. Bye for now.